Get in here, 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 get in here. This is going to be a signature live opening. I give credit to whom credit is due. MJ Harris. He's the one who started with the get in here, get in here. I'm just improvising a little bit. So, MJ Harris, don't come for me. Okay. Um, Man, I am caffeinated today, very caffeinated because I've been feeling a little bit blur, not sure, but we powered through the day, was able to do some of the things that I really needed to do for today. Powered through by caffeine, and I can feel the jitters. I can feel the jitters right now because I had 1 cup of coffee, 1 cup of yerba mate, 1 cup of cacao, and some mushrooms. The shiitake, I think that's how you say it, mitake, but just that mushroom. It's the B vitamins. It gives you a lot of energy. I was actually going to take my B complex, but I think I'm going to skip that because although I do need the vitamins though, but very caffeinated, and we're here. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through the day. We're gonna get through the week. We're gonna get through the month. We're gonna get through the year. We we're doing this. We're doing this. We're doing the whole. We're doing everything. The whole thing, whether we like it or not. It's not even a choice. No one is allowed to stand in the way of the goals and the dreams. Not even yourself. You're not allowed. You are not even allowed to be in the path of the goals and the dreams. It's one thing I had to remind myself and tell myself a couple of months ago, maybe, when something was just, kind of trying to be in my way. And I tell myself, Isabel, no one is allowed to stand in the way of this dream except God, Creator God. If you're God, then you're allowed. If you're not God, what are you even doing? What are we even doing? Even I'm not allowed. So we'll power through. And this habit actually has really been helping me, the habit of consistency. Just coming up here, I know I haven't been that consistent, but even with that little bit of consistency, has really been helping me in other areas of my life. For example, just being able to eat better and exercise. I've been able to do my exercise consistently, whether it's 10 minutes, whether it's 2 minutes at a time of, the not compound interest, but the time compounds. Sometimes I'm able to just jump on my trampoline for 2 minutes, in between breaks, whatever. And sometimes by the end of the day, it's like, whoa, I've actually jumped on the trampoline for 15 minutes or 20 minutes. And it's been proven, science backs this up, that even 5 minutes of being on the trampoline, the benefits, they just compound. Okay, so it has really helped me. And there are still other areas of my life I still want to apply this and be more consistent. But hey, celebrate the small wins, right? Celebrate the small wins, and that's what we are doing. I've been able to be consistent in other parts of my life, and I'm grateful for that. I'm proud of myself. I'm patting myself in the back. It's okay. I know certain cultures, they're very, you know, it's I guess it's the modesty kind of thing where they don't accept praise. I saw a video yesterday, someone from a certain region, and they say, "Oh no, we don't accept praise." Where people will say, the Westerners will say, "You're welcome." We will say, "Oh no, it's nothing." Actually, my culture is like that too, because our "you're welcome" in my Shona language literally translates to, it's not really "don't mention." It's like, "Don't thank me." It's like, don't thank me. Why are you thanking me? It's not necessary. But hey, I'm patting myself in the back for being a little bit consistent. Anywho, I really don't have much time. I'm just in that habit of just trying to be consistent. And today we are talking about fortune favors the obsessed. Fortune favors the obsessed, and it's that just that series. When we say fortune, some Christians maybe they'll say, "Oh, we are Christians. We don't believe in luck. We don't believe in fortune." You know what I mean? I just mean success. People who are obsessed just tend to be successful. I've observed this kind of people, the girlies. This is what you get for being on social media too much and having friends who are, like all kinds of age. You end up saying things like girlies. It just means people, the ladies that I know that are obsessed so much about how they look. It's those ladies or women or girls that don't go out of the house without makeup. Again, there's an extreme side to this, but to be honest, those people, they are obsessed with everything they do. They are obsessed with image. So even when they work, everything they do is done thoroughly. Look, if you can spend 2 hours doing makeup, I've heard of people who spend 2 hours literally just getting ready and putting makeup. Okay, sometimes I put mine on the run. That's why I get very easy to apply. In fact, I prefer BB creams, foundation, and thank God he blessed me with great skin that I really don't need to cover up much. But it's like those people that take 2 hours putting foundation here, putting the liner and everything, like they are I know someone who was like that, and she was a fashion designer, and even the clothes that she designed, impeccable. Like everything is just perfect. Everything is done perfectly because people like that are literally obsessed with the tiny little details. And they will go, "Oh, my hair looks so terrible." And I'm like, "What? What's wrong with your hair?" Like literally every hair is in its place. "Oh, my eyebrows, my lashes." And you look at them and it's like everything is in its place. But anyhow, what to take from them is they are obsessed even with the tiniest itty bitty detail. Everything should be perfect, and success tends to follow people like that. I have observed these people. If the patterns they exhibit, the people that are successful in business, these people, guess what? They wake up early. It's most of them, they belong to what they call the 5 a.m. club, where they wake up at 5 a.m. They are in the gym working out, okay, every day without failure. They read consistently every single day. They read 10 pages a day, 20 pages a day, but they read. These people always have a book that they are reading, whether it's fiction, whether it's self-help, but they read consistently. And you see these habits, they also apply elsewhere. They eat well, they eat healthy. They are very disciplined when it comes to eating. They are very disciplined in what they put in their bodies. And you see it also applies to money. They are disciplined with their money, their environment, how their environment looks, like their the homes. They are always like, they have impeccable taste, in decor, and everything is always in its place. Everything has a place in their homes. These are the types of girls or women that you see making videos about organizing a drawer. You would never see me doing a video like that. Organizing a drawer. Okay. Lord help. I aspire to be that girl. Lord help me. I aspire to be that girl, to get to a place where I even get obsessed with my drawers, like they're lining up their utensils, drawers. They have stuff in there, to put another tray to put in the drawer where forks are lined up. Like those things, they tend to just apply to everything. Their finances, they track their spending habits. They know where their money is going. My accounting professor, I don't like accounting, especially financial accounting, but if I took anything from this man, he gave us an example where we were supposed to name like 5 states, or five, yeah, I think it was states or something that were in on the board, and he divided us into 2 groups. So the first group, we were the first group, and we named, I think, quite a bit of the states, maybe like 12 states. And then the second group only named maybe like 3 or 5. They didn't name that much. And guess what? The first group who named the most states, the information was organized. It was organized like into a tabular form. It was divided, so it was clear. We could just go brrr, just scan quickly, and we got a lot of states that were in that document. And then the same information for the second group, but it was scattered all over the place, like there will be a state, and then there will be an organization, and so that information, it was more like just separated maybe by commas, but not organized, not like it wasn't like an Excel spreadsheet. It was just all comma separated all together like this. So when stuff is like that, like you can't even see, it's difficult to decode the information, which is why sometimes it's like your clothes, you realize they are clothes that you haven't worn in years. Why? Because the wardrobe is scattered. You don't even know what's in there, or in the pantry, or the food in the cupboards. Because myself, I'm guilty sometimes. I look in the refrigerator, oh my God, there's this food that's been in the back of the refrigerator for months, sometimes. And it's like, because things are not organized, you can't see what's in there. You don't even know what's in there. So he said that's why accounting exists, for us to be able to track your spending. He said if you don't record it, you're not going to remember it. If you don't record it, you see, that's why you see at the end of the month, I analyze my spending. At one point, it's like, why am I spending all this much money on food? Like, technically, my food budget is supposed to be, let's just say hypothetically, $100 a month or $100 a week. But I realized I was spending so much more than what I was allocating to food. Guess what? Because it was the little things, the little chips, the sweet potato chips, they get me every downtime in the vending machine. And that thing is like $2.35, $2 people. And if you go to Sam's Club or whatever, you get a big bag like this for $4 or $5 or $6, whatever. You can get a vacuum sealer or whatever, so that they don't lose their freshness, and put these chips in them little baggies, But it's like so those little things, they add up. $5 here for coffee, $5 at Starbucks here, $5, for a cake, a slice of cake. And you realize by the end of the day, you have spent $30 in food. And maybe sometimes you've even brought food from home. But you're just spending little things because you're not feeling it, right? You're not feeling it. So, and then at the end of the day, it's like, wow, $30 a day for food times 30 days, that's $900. That's almost $1,000 for food for one person in this economy. Girl, no. We're not we're not doing that. But if you're not careful, if you're not tracking your spending habits, and it's very easy to do nowadays, like very easy to set up a tracker, with your bank or whatever. But I'm just saying, those people that I've noticed that are successful, most of the people that I follow, and they are from all over geographically. Some are in Kenya, some are in Nigeria, some are in Zimbabwe, some are in the UK, some are in Canada, some are here in the United States, some are in Australia, some are in Asia. So it's just like different areas, or geographically, but they have this one thing in common. They are obsessed. They are obsessed by how they look. They are obsessed with their teeth, how their teeth look like. So guess what? They brush their teeth in the morning. They floss. They have the physical manual floss. They have a water pick. They have they do oil pulling. They are scraping the. Like it's like you. I remember sharing this with someone. There were some moments when sometimes I would be under the weather, either it was just life or sometimes just weather, because in the Midwest, it tends to just really it gets cold sometimes. And sometimes I was under the weather, literally, because the weather was just frustrating. You can't go out and stuff, or maybe it was just life. I was just struggling not where I wanted to be. Or maybe sometimes it was just physical things, hormones, right? Hormones just out of work, You got to know your body too and study your body to know what you need and get some of those tests, the simple tests to just see your vitamin deficiencies, right? So you know what you're missing or what you're prone to. For example, I know for a lot of people that are close to me, iron is a thing. Iron deficiency is a thing. So we already know. Like with these people, like we have to have lots of foods with iron, the spinach, like I know sweet potato leaves and stuff, although they are difficult to come by, but just beets, some those things that just help with iron. And sometimes if you don't know, you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. Nails are gray, you just know it's that iron deficiency. Hands cold hands, warm heart, cold feet, you know and some people even they may require an infusion, or supplements or in infusion. So the thing is just like these people, I lost my train of thought, but like they really obsess. Oh, when I was, what was I saying? Oh, when I was just going through it, feeling down, and I didn't want to wake up, I didn't want to shower, I didn't want to even do anything. But I realized that if I could just get myself to do one thing, I will obsess with just one thing of my life, just one thing. I would just take one thing and run with it and obsess. Sometimes it was just my teeth. I would just obsess with my teeth. So when I obsessed with my teeth, I would make sure I brush them every time I eat, or normally you brush them in the morning and at night, right? But I will make sure I have the mouthwash, I have my favorite toothpaste, and I also change that toothpaste. I like changing toothpaste because I just feel like the microbiome in your mouth gets used to well, that's for me, because I can feel it when my toothpaste no longer works, because it's like just like that microbiome is used to that toothpaste, then it's time to switch. And I like the natural one. Sometimes I even use the baking soda, mixture, paste, whatever, with baking soda. So whatever, and salt. So, but it's just like I would just obsess with my teeth. And I remember I used to get so many compliments. Like people would always this. I remember this one girl just, Muziva, your teeth are always white. Your teeth are always. And don't get me wrong, there was a time too I neglected teeth, but I'm just saying, focusing on that one thing and obsessing on just that one thing, my teeth, I realized it gave me hope. It encouraged me to, because I looked forward to caring for my teeth. Or sometimes it was just my hair. I would care for my hair, do my own hair and stuff, try these different styles. Sometimes it was skin, sometimes it was my home. I would obsess with furniture, arranging my furniture or the decor in my home, and I'll have these different themes, and color, just colorful things. Sometimes maybe it was my wardrobe. I would just pick one thing to obsess about. And by wardrobe, I'm not even meaning going to buy things every time. I'm just saying, like, really paying attention to how I look or how I'm dressed and wearing cute outfits that made me feel good. Sometimes it just took that outfit. Or fragrances are another thing that I would obsess about sometimes, and I would just buy this perfume that I like. And it just took that perfume was the main difference that helped me get out of bed, when I was discouraged, when I didn't wear, because I just looked forward to just spraying that perfume on me and feeling good about myself, or lighting up this candle that really smelled really good. For me, like the cedarwood, sandalwood, vanilla, the woodsy stuff, I just love that. Just like you pick one thing that you're obsessed with, and you will realize soon enough that habit will spread to other things. Then now, because you are just obsessed with your teeth, now you're obsessed with your skin, now you're obsessed with your weight. And if you're obsessed with your weight, now you eat healthier. You're obsessed with what you put in your body. Now you're obsessed with your environment, your home, how your home looks like. So it's like now you're obsessed with your money. Like you're not that kind of person. You're just a lot of what do you call it? Overdraft. Guilty. Been there, done that. So it's just like, but then now you see that now you're disciplined with money, because you're not spending unnecessary money, because you care about what you eat. Now you're just cooking from home, you're eating from home, and eating from home looks different for everybody. I know someone who, they get stuff prepared from Costco, and they put it in the microwave or in the air fryer, whatever, in the oven. You warm it on the stovetop, whatever. You do what you do, right? And you're able to save that money. When you save that money, you're able to do more things, maybe invest in other projects, maybe invest that money, makes more money for you, maybe go on that vacation you've been wanting to go, because now you have a savings fund, right, for that vacation, and you'll be amazed at what just putting away $20, $30, $50 a month would do. But the end of the month, now you're able to buy that ticket to go wherever you want to be, wherever you want to go. So it's like, this is not maybe so much a fun upbeat, well, I'm not feeling very upbeat too today, but it's just like fortune favors the obsessed girls, the ones that spent $1,000 at Sephora sometimes, and they to the T. Everything is the eyes. There's the blush, the eyeshadow, everything. Some of us, we're just simple. As you see me today, like this, no makeup, not even moisturizer. I just washed my face because I was home. So it's like, I don't even want to bother. Unfortunately, the world, we are wired visuals impress us, visuals. Have you seen, what are the videos that you're drawn to watch? I am guilty. Like, some people, I just look at the thumbnail and I'm just like, I'm so, unless if I know you, right? So if I know you, it doesn't matter how you look like. But if I don't know you, what's going to draw me to you? There has to be something, right, that I can see, and I'm just like, ooh, I want to know. They say when they see you, first impressions, people judge you on so many levels. They are already looking at you, how you present yourself, before you even open your mouth, people are already determining, are you an expert? Are you an expert? Like, and some people, have you seen some people, they just trusted. Nowadays with social media, there's just been so many stories coming up of people, maybe they've been calling themselves a psychologist, and they have a huge following, and people are saying, oh, the credentials are false or whatever. I don't know about those stories. I'm not in those people's lives, so I'm just saying there've been stories coming up, people saying, oh, this person is a fraud, they're not a doctor, they are not a psychologist, they are not a medical doctor. But here's the thing, how did they get that following? Because people were paying attention to them, because people believed they were an expert. And some of it could be just because of how they looked. If you look put together, you're obsessed with your look, like the world would judge you as an expert. It's just human psychology, unfortunately. And sometimes you could even be an expert in your subject matter, but because of how you look, before you open your mouth, people have already concluded that you don't know what you're talking about. So you've already lost three-quarters of the audience before you opened up your mouth because of just how you look. Isn't that sad? That is so sad. But that's the reality of life. Unfortunately, that is the reality. It's like people buy you as a brand. That's why, the people who specialize in branding, they always say before you even brand a product that you sell, you are the brand. You are the brand. People buy from the brand that is you, which is basically how you make people feel. So don't ignore that too. Don't just, like, oh, I can just be pretty and treat people anyhow. No, 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 no. It's the whole nine. Because some people are pretty, but guess what's going to keep that influence for you? It's how you treat people, right? How you make people feel. How do people leave you? How do they feel when they leave you? Do they leave you feeling depressed about themselves or doubt? Like, so the branding is the whole thing. It's the messaging, it's the tone, it's the look, the packaging, it's everything. It's everything. And some people just buy the thing because of the branding, right? But I challenge you to go deeper, because sometimes people may be tempted to come by once, because of the packaging, right? Because the packaging attracted them. But what's going to keep them is what? The quality of the product itself. Is the product quality? Is it high quality, or does it just break? I've bought some things, like I remember this pair of scissors, I needed to use, and it just broke. I didn't even get to use it. Well, I bought it because it was cheap. But that's what I'm saying. You can package a cheap product all you want, but what's going to keep people coming back is the quality of the product. Is it high quality? How does the product make people feel? So, which is why I'm saying, I'm challenging you to go step further and go deeper, and also focus on your character, because you can package yourself however you want and attract lots of people, but what's going to keep your influence, or what's going to keep those people around you, it's your character. You talk even in the world of dating, like, don't we put our best foot forward, right? No one is going to that date looking scruffy. We all look, our best. We all I'm going looking, not saying my room is scattered, right? You're putting your best foot forward. But then, like, but and you can attract that woman, you can attract that man, but what's really going to keep him or her is the character, your character. So if you are someone who just, you're always rude to people, you don't pay attention to other people's needs, then they're not gonna stay. Because I tell you what's really in you, as Paula White used to say, it will come out when you're under pressure. And life is a way of putting humans under pressure, man. Life is a way of putting us as humans to test. And, when you're under pressure, what's really in you will come. You can't fool people. You can't fool anyone. You can only fool people for so long. But what is truly in you will always come out. As a man thinketh, so is he. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. Out of the abundance of the heart, what is in you will come out eventually. So, work also on your character. Work also on your character. And what is character, right? This character is, are you impeccable with your word? Is your no a no and your yes a yes? Or you will say yes and then go, I actually meant maybe. Or I will never forget, my daughter taught me a lesson at a very young age, and to be honest, I'm still, sometimes I forget, but my daughter taught me such a great lesson at a very tender age in her life, when I had this, I would give her things, being the only child too, and, my oldest, and, as a mom, right? And I would give her things. I remember one time I gave her this flat iron. It was is it Chi? I don't know if that's how you call it. It's very expensive. I bought that thing for over $100, and it's been years ago. And it would really flat iron your hair nicely. And I gave it to her, and then I was just like, oh, you're not using it. If you're not using, why did I give you, like and then I took it back. And then I can't remember what else. I would do things like that. Like I would give her something that I really love. And then if I just don't see her using it, then I would take it back. Because I like, give me back, And she's like, Mom, that's not good for you to do. When you give something to someone, you don't take back, and because it says a lot about your character. You cannot be trusted when you give people things and then you take them back. That is not good. And I didn't realize that out of the mouths of babes, it took a child to make me realize that, so sometimes we promise things to people. Oh, I'll be there. I'll be there. And granted, sometimes life happens, right? If you cannot make it, make sure you text people, you let them know, oh, I'm so sorry, I said I was gonna do the, but don't say you're coming and then not show up and not say anything. That's not good. Be impeccable with your word. Be impeccable with your word. When you say, I will be there, let your no be no. Even the Bible says, let your nay be nay. Like, don't say no in your heart when you mean yes. Don't say yes in your heart when you mean no. It's all that's all part of character building, and that's what's going to keep us, on top. That's what's going to keep our influence. And it's not, we are work in progress, obviously. As long as we are humans and we are in this flesh, we will keep learning. We keep learning, and we become better. Like when we didn't know, even in the time of not knowing, the Bible says, God, he redeems the times of not knowing. But when you know better, you do better. When you know better, you do better. So let's go do better, be better, myself included. I know someone who always used to say, when you point fingers at others like this, just remember 4 of them, or is it 3? 3. When I'm pointing fingers, 3 are pointing back at you. So, men in the mirror, start with you, start with me to be better. So, help me, God. And okay. Thank you. Bye.